Joining us right now to discuss more on this, Advocate Parvez Menon, Senior Partner, MZM Legal LLP. Nayan Parikh, who's also an educationist. Nayan, I'll start with you now. Very strong statement coming in from the Supreme Court. In fact, the Supreme Court here has called the NRI quota expansion a fraud. They also label it as a money-spinning tactic by the state. Now, you, of course, been in this field for a very long time. Help us understand, do we even need these NRI quotas? Who are they meant for and how are they being misused in India?
I think you rightly brought out the issue that actually NRI quota is required or not. And when did it start? Did it start when India was in need of foreign exchange? Long time back. And then it has continued. And now we are talking of even further expanding it. I think, Ashish, as you rightly said, it is time to consider whether we need to even have NRI quota or not. And I think it is high time that we may discontinue with NRI quota, because local students who are meritorious are actually not getting these seats. And it so remains that I think out of 185 MBBS and 196 BDS seats, some of these seats, even in NRI quota, remain vacant. So I feel that there is a merit for discontinuing with NRI's quota altogether. There is no need for that. I think it helps only 2-3 ways that, if you want to actually get foreigners or Indians who are in other countries, if you want them to come back. And if you actually want them to come back, you want them to come back because India has shortage of doctors. And if you feel that these are the doctors who would eventually then stay, then it makes sense. But if they just get degree and go away, then what is India's benefit in this? Vis-a-vis, at least I feel, in my mind, the chances of somebody who is an Indian, who is staying here, who is domiciled here and studies here has greater chance of staying in India compared to an NRI who has a wealthy parent somewhere and who studies here on some higher fees and quota, then goes back to that part of the world and gives services to somebody else. So I feel that in Indian system, we need doctors who are actually going to work here. We need doctors who are meritorious. We need doctors who are sincere and who want to serve India. So I think all these purposes don't get served even by the current NRI definition. But if we were to broaden the definition, then it means almost everybody, as it includes chacha, tai, then it might tomorrow include also padosi. कि भाई आप पड़ोसी के लड़के हैं तो भी चलेगा. So far as you pay in dollars, वो चलेगा. I don't think that is really a good practice, and I am glad that Supreme Court has taken a very strict view, and that would also, I think, warn other states who are looking at expanding this or who are already having an expanded definition to actually retract and bring it down, and perhaps at some point of time, perhaps abolish NRI quota altogether.
But Nayan, if you can just help us understand, what do you think was the logic that the Punjab government applied to expand this quota beyond 15%? Like you said, the NRIs, of course, are given the advantage. Now even their chachas, tayas, pufas, I don't know how many relatives. Now everyone, the Punjab government was trying to give them a benefit as well. What exactly is the logic behind it?
I feel that government and colleges are both the biggest beneficiary from this. NRI का तो नाम है, but I think the very fact that now you can take students at a higher fee. Second, you have some kind of a discretion. In merit, you don't have any discretion. Whoever has higher marks, you will give it to him. Here, in case of NRI, you would have some discretion whether this guy is actually NRI or not. You can disregard some of the people under some or the other pretext. You can get somebody else and some other documents proving that he's an NRI. So there is a lot of play here. There is a lot of business here. There is a lot of money making here. And I think that is what Supreme Court is against. That why do you have that discretion? If it is just a merit, then Ashish, anybody, a 10th standard student would decide as to who would all get the admission. Because it is purely merit. So score dekh lijiye, and as per score you give admissions. Here, I think you have whole definition. If you look at NRI, the way they have defined, the way they have now expanding, I think expanding is totally kind of, to their advantage, because then they would decide whether this is actually chacha or not. You would get some certificate, some chacha you will be able to discard, say this is really not a chacha. So actually, you have full discretion almost in these seats where you can get higher fees, where you can favor somebody, where you can.
But Nayan, sorry to interrupt you. So I'm asking your opinion here because you've been in this field for a very long time. Do you think this NRI quota serves any benefit to India? Do you think that this should be scrapped entirely, or do you still believe that this does serve a sort of a useful purpose for Indian education?
I feel that it is something which has really not served purpose at any point of time. What purpose did it serve? Tell me even earlier. As I was telling that, at some point of time, I remember years back, there was a scooter quota. Bajaj scooter was not available for 5 years. Now, if you get NRI, then there was a quota available. So you get a two-wheeler. Otherwise, two-wheeler was having 5 years kind of, waiting list. This was all years back. That is the time that this NRI quota was also introduced because India needed foreign exchange. Our major outflow was because of the oil and other aspects. So we needed foreign exchange. We were doing everything possible to get foreign exchange. Foreign exchange में सब चीज मिलती. Now you don't need that. You are far away from that. Your meritorious students have come up. Why do you need to do that? So I think this is something that has served some kind of a purpose. And our advocate friend said that maybe some Indians who are abroad and their children would not get benefit. I think that is partly true. And how many Indians are actually outside and who would actually benefit from this needs to be seen. So I feel that this has already served purpose, if at all it had some purpose. And now on to make it wider net is absolutely criminal. In fact, to reduce it and abolish it is, I think, a step in the right direction.
Okay.